Woo! Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Social with me, Graham Hughes, and Mike Dix. How you doing, Mike Dix? You all right?
I've had better days, Graham, but I'm glad to be here.
Oh, I'm glad you're glad to be here. I think we've all had better weeks, haven't we? What have we had? Trump's inauguration, a bloody storm hit, storm of the century. We've already had a storm of the century. Didn't we have a storm of the century the other year? Like, why
They
did
come every week now.
every week?
It's
Every
like
week.
it's like Sailor of the Century with Nicholas Parsons. That was every week.
Have you heard the latest? What Trump's done? He's revoked the security detail from Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, I saw that just now.
Fucking hell, man.
It's almost like painting targets on people,
Yes,
isn't he now?
yeah, it's exactly what I said he'll do. I said he'll just kill people and he can get away with it. He's got his militia because he's released 1,500 terrorists. Terrorists, Mike. Terrorists.
Well, 1,499 because one of them got arrested immediately.
Yeah,
So
true.
How long will they all last out
Yeah.
in the open? I don't know.
But like he's revoked the security clearance, security detail for like 51 agents who worked on one of the cases that he didn't like the look of. You know, he's been really vindictive and going after the people who helped him out. There's this mad things are like these words have had to be removed from the websites of any state-funded or federal-funded university. So they've had to take any words like bisexual and trans, and there's a big long list of them. The big long list of words that they're having to take out, having to delete.
What was it? They put a 404 page up on the Constitution page on the White House website.
Oh, did they?
So you can no longer go and look up the Constitution to check whether he's trying to change it.
Yeah, pretty much all power for the cause. We did think this was going to happen, and it's happening. It's happening. Hey, listen, if anyone wants to join in the chat with MH Carer, Dave W, Hayton Pudd, Scott, Richard Grumpy Git, Sarah Davis, and they've got Billy in there. We've got Ron. Hey, Ron. We've got Jup James in there. We've got Fritz. We've got Pizza Music. We've got Tim Ballon, who's just had just dropped a super chat in to tell us.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Thank you. The animation would work. Animation work. Oh, God. Will it to work? Will it to work? Yes! It worked. Tim, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, mate. To decline the pardon.
Yeah, what was? Did you see that?
So what
I
was
saw
that
that
about?
story, but I didn't find the detail. But the two of them turned it down. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Does Tim know?
Yeah, Tim, tell us why. You don't have to pay. Just tell us why.
Yeah.
You have to buy the Trump Bible to read the Constitution. Indeed. Russell Cannon says he's signing executive orders with a pen. I would have thought a rubber stamp made for him. Yeah, that's a point. He revoked John Bolton's security detail yesterday. And other people who have slagged him off in the press, he's taken their security detail away from them after telling his lunatics to go and, you know. I told them, I said, get out. If you can get out of America, get out of America. Just go. Just get out. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. You're not going to be able to fight back. He has the executive, he has the legislature, he has the judiciary, all on his side. He has the police, he has the National Guard, he has the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, he has the Coast Guard, he has fucking Homeland Security.
Not the bishops, though.
He doesn't have
So
the
far.
bishops. No.
So far, it's the bishops versus the rest of America.
It is. It is. Gareth says, Graham, the book has arrived. Oh, wow, Gareth, that's great. But, oh, my God, how long did that take? That took a long time.
That was before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I did send it like a couple of days after New Year, but it was at least a couple of weeks ago. Bloody hell, Gareth. But I'm glad you got it in the end. Tim Ballon says both thought they had done wrong and deserved their prison time. There you go.
Because a number of them pleaded guilty. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Pardon for
unbelievable.
something that they said that they did.
But they're just going to feel enabled, aren't they? Like
Yes.
Trump enabled people to be publicly racist anyway, and now he's enabled violent thugs to attack police officers and get away with it. And you know, in a lot of their dumb heads, they're going to think he'll just pardon me again if I do this again, as long as I'm doing it in his name.
Yeah.
And he probably will.
Yeah. Oh wow, Darren Christian has just gifted 10 Politics Social memberships, which brings our membership total up to 217, I think. So thanks very much for that, Darren. That's very, very kind of you. If the subscribe animation would work. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Hey, hang on a second. Let me just fiddle with this. Where we go? Welcome members. That's what we want. We want to say welcome members, which is fun. Members is a funny word, isn't it? Welcome new members. Woo! Maybe I should put that in the middle of the screen. Oh, we have a Mikey. A wild Mikey has appeared. Hello, Mikey.
That's
Hi.
what that's what all Democrats are looking like at the moment, like rabbits in the headlights. And I know you're not a Democrat, but the joke wouldn't work if I didn't say that.
Yes. It's all getting a bit concerning. Like, I'm going to just change the format of the picture so it's 2 up and 1 down. And then I'll just move this over here like this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There you go. Almost perfect. You'll never know.
The Democrats aren't making that face, Mike. They literally handed over the keys to the kingdom to a fascist on a pillow with a mint on it.
Yes.
Because
Nice
they
cup of-
wanted to be prim and proper for when
Nice
the
cup of
fascists
tea.
for when the fascists take over. We don't want them to be thirsty. So
Well, the fascists have taken over, clearly, as we saw this week. Elon Musk.
I stuck my willy in their tea and then I served it to them.
Elon
gotta
Musk
hope
giving a
somebody did
Hitler
that.
salute at the inauguration. That was nice. Just before we go on, I've just got to say thank you again to Darren Christian, and I just want to say a big hello to Daryl, Barnett, and Andrew, and LGC. We've also got R-Dub, Steph, Culligan. We've got CB, Unglesby. We've got Louise McGee. We've got the Lampini. And we've got Lizard Atwar, who have all been given memberships by Darren there. So thank you so much, Darren. I'll get all your names onto the list. I've got to go back to Durham to put the names on the list because I checked and I don't have the file that I need, the video file.
They are now part of the politics social elite.
They are. They
Very
are.
much like the
Socialists.
tech oligarchs.
The socialites.
They're socialists.
Socialists. I like socialites. That'd be good actually, because someone calls you a socialist. You say, no, I'm a socialite. And then you get to wear nice dresses and go to balls and openings of things, and you get to be drunk all the time and hilarious.
Or you taste
choose
funny because you're made out of
debutantes.
fake sugar.
Yeah. We have a question for Mikey from Tim Ballon. Thank you very much,
that
Tim,
was
for the
quick.
super chat.
Hi.
Mikey, what dirt has Cassidy Hutchinson got?
Oh yeah, because that was his main #1 girl, and she was like, I just have to testify. I haven't heard from her. I hope she's well. Like, she hasn't been in the news at all. She's
who is
probably
it?
in a bunker somewhere.
Who is she?
She was his old not assistant, chief of staff, not chief of staff. She was pretty much his,
She worked
like,
for the
gopher.
chief of staff, didn't she?
She was like his gopher, and she was like the pretty girl that was forced to be in the room with him at all times to answer all of his stupid questions and hand him his Coke and oh, please give me my charger for my iPad because I want to look at,
Yeah.
videos of myself. Like, she was like the babysitter for him. I'll see what. Let me see, Cassidy.
But
me see what her
apparently senators have said that they don't want her to give evidence because there's a number of sexually explicit text messages that were sent to her by senators.
They all do that. Like,
That's what I
the
read.
thing. Like
Oh, Mikey.
her title was former White House aide, who served assistant to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
I saw a clip from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talking to Jon Stewart this week. Did you see this?
Yeah, it was really good.
And what did they mention? She said the one thing they've got to change in the Parliament, in your Congress, is them betting on the stock exchange after being on a committee where they're going to make a decision, and then they tell their brokers to buy big and pork bellies because there's something coming down the line, and that's exactly what you were talking about the other day.
No, Graham, I'm just this loudmouth who just wants the center of attention. He's always like, picking on people, and nothing I ever say comes to fruition exactly like I fucking said. I told y'all. Like, I do this. You know what I mean? Like, I read this shit for life, for living. I have to be aware of what these motherfuckers are up to. So when you get warned that they're up to some fucking shenanigans, maybe don't attack the messenger, okay? Maybe look into what I'm actually saying You know what I mean? Like, there is a reason why Matt Gaetz got selected to go where he wanted to. Is because he is the most problematic one out of all of them. And he's like, I'm going to pull the whole boat down if I don't get my way. Like, you have to listen to when people are bitching and when they're not bitching.
Yeah.
Because all of the Republicans didn't turn on Matt Gaetz. I wonder why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They are never silent about anything, but then they're magically silent about certain things, and they magically want to get mad at their absolute cretin of a fucking friend who is just over there just the nastiest behavior you could probably find in Florida, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
And he's up to it, and his buddy's in fucking jail for it, and all of them knew this.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're dirty.
They're genuinely the
I don't
worst.
trust them.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, there's people who
I gotta let the cat out.
would make good politicians, I guess, but then there's the people who become politicians, and they're not necessarily the same people.
No.
Yeah.
What was it Douglas Adams used to say, that don't vote for anybody that really wants to be your president?
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that why Zaphod Beetlevox became president? Because he didn't want it or something? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Was that
exactly.
Gladiator? Can't remember.
He's the only guy that turned it down or something, so they forced it on him.
She didn't want to be in here anymore.
Who's that? Who didn't want
cat.
to be in? Oh, the cat.
She wasn't supposed to be in here anyway, but I let her because she's very quiet and she's very cute. But then she was making a lot of noise, and it was time for her to go.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, we have another super chat that's come in, just £2 from One Angry Pagan. Thank you very much, sir. My favourite dinosaur, the barn owl or emu. You guys, what's your favourite dinosaur, Mike?
Oh, do we have to go down the line of birds or dinosaurs and choose our favourite bird?
No.
Or our
I want
dinosaur?
dinos. I want proper dinos in Jurassic Park with their unrealistic, featherless versions.
I was going to say, it just becomes incredibly complicated, doesn't it, at that point? It's got to be a velociraptor, but only because they were actually quite tiny. They were like dogs, like a pack of wolves.
I have a picture of one of their skulls. Hold on.
Oh, cool.
I was going to say Science Center, and they had.
I was going to say a plesiosaurus because my brother once found a fossil of a plesiosaurus, but they're not actually dinosaurs. Plesiosaurus.
Oh, right. Is that technically not a dinosaur?
They had a different whatever definition on the tree. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go with T-Rex. You know, the band.
Mark Bolan.
Mitch McConnell.
Children of the Revolution.
Mitch McConnell.
I like to boogie. Mitch McConnell is... where's his chin? Why is he not...
He has several chins. Which one are you referencing?
It goes from the
tucks
bottom
it in
of
his
his
shirt,
mouth.
doesn't he?
And then it just goes
under his
straight down
tie.
into his neck.
Yeah. I think he pulls his head out of his shirt every morning.
I want to know how he
It
shaves.
looks like Touche Turtle.
How do you shave with all that loose skin? Is all I want to know.
He's horrible. I liked it when he glitched. I liked it when he got the blue screen of death, and he just sort of stood there, like staring, and they had to sort of prod him, and then he sort of reset and came back to life. It was very disturbing. Is he still in? Is he still deciding stuff? Is he still there? Or was he retired?
I think this is his last go round.
Right. So he leaves in 2 years?
Maybe 4. I think he just
Jesus.
got. Yeah. I think he won in 20. They almost got him out in 2022.
Okay.
They were the closest it had been, and it was a progressive young black guy.
Yeah.
That ran against him, and they got close, but no cigar.
Okay, so given everything that's happened this week, we've got Scott. Hello, Scott. How you doing, mate? Scott's turned up. Hey,
Scott.
How you doing, Scott? Can you hear us?
There's always the audio lag with Scott. I like that.
Which is fun because I'm an audio slag.
I didn't get to name my favorite dinosaur, by the way.
Hi.
Scott, what is your favorite dinosaur?
The hell?
What?
A what?
Welcome to the Paleological Podcast.
Welcome to the Politics Social.
Do you know what? Do you know what my favourite dinosaur is? A Diplodocus. Just because it's got such a great name. And I once wrote a rap song, and it was unicorns versus dinosaurs. And the dinosaur said, "We don't need no hocus pocus. We got a Diplodocus." So I like diplodocuses. Diplodocus?
Whatever.
I don't know.
What actually happened to your rapping career, Graham?
Yeah, what happened to it?
Well, you know,
Thankfully, it didn't take off.
I wonder where it went.
I was the Vanilla Ice of West Derby, Liverpool. I really was.
Don't tell nobody else that.
No, it didn't go anywhere, unfortunately.
Just keep that between us, okay?
Sarah's saying, do you think he saw us? What do you call a dinosaur that sits on a cactus? A megasaurus.
A Megasaurus.
Yes. Oh, hang
Do you
on.
think
there you go.
Do you think sore ass jokes are appropriate?
Oh,
Graham?
sorry, Mike. Mike's
Yeah,
got a
no,
sore
just-
ass.
Can you see Mike?
Just checking.
But you've
There's
Oh, that's
your-
amazing.
That is a
That's
velociraptor skull.
That is brilliant.
That is beautiful.
And it probably would have fit in my hand. It was very small. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm
I like
not really
little
afraid
dogs.
of you.
So
Little feathery dogs.
apparently we made a mistake putting skin on dinosaur bones because we just sort of stretched the skin over the bones, whereas there would have been fat, there would have been feathers, there would have been all kinds of other stuff. And someone did a picture of, I forgot, it was like a horse. They got a horse skeleton, and then they did to a horse skeleton what we do to dinosaur fossils. I just went, this is what it would look like. And it was just like
There is
absolutely hideous nightmare creature. Didn't look anything like a horse.
There is a whole new movement.
There's a
Of,
T-Rex for you, Graham.
Oh, cool.
What is that?
Yeah.
Illustrators that are reimagining dinosaurs based on that kind of information. And apparently T-Rex was probably quite fat. Probably was quite a fat animal.
Yeah, he only had little arms
Screen.
for picking his nose. Could he pick his nose?
No, his nose was too long.
Could he put a fitted sheet onto a mattress?
No. That's why they died out in the end.
They did.
There you go.
Mikey, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Last week Mikey made this the astrophysics podcast. This week
Yeah.
we're
Here's
making
my
it the
favorite.
dinosaur podcast.
Paleontology.
There's the best of the dinos.
Welcome,
is the
welcome.
Triceratops.
Friday night paleontology hour. Scott is like, what the fuck is going on, man?
The
I want to
Triceratops.
look at the dinosaur that looks all fucked up because it's not done right.
I feel like the Triceratops is like the mobile artillery tank rhino version of dinosaurs,
Yeah.
and I think they're elite, or a stegosaurus, something with some sort of cool, or the one that had the club as a tail. I like the ones that have very like ancient weaponry on their body. That's funny.
Jup James says, Graham, how do elephants pick their nose? I don't know, Jup. How do elephants pick their nose? There's going to be a joke coming in a minute. There's a dinosaur in the White House. Well,
There's a few of them in there.
Oh, he's the oldest president ever.
where did you dig up this old fossil? Old bones. It's like a Reform Party meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey's just showing pictures of Reform Party members to us.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the next movie about Congress, Jurassic Park 5,
Yeah.
because the average age is like 64.
Did you see Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage having a Twitter spat about the fact that Boris was allowed in the room of the inauguration and
What, they're
Farage
actually having a
wasn't?
spat.
They're having a
Seriously?
little fight through
Seriously?
the Daily Mail
No,
pages.
I want to salute the Fuhrer. No, I want to salute the Fuhrer.
Yeah.
Oh, and excuse everybody for my insecurities here, but if you're a Trump supporter, be prepared to be called a Nazi from now on.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
just a Nazi.
You're just a Nazi.
I don't like. I can literally write you off as a Nazi
Yeah.
now. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
But
so
they-
much for bringing Elon
but
on board and for really
they're kinda-
unmasking because you're all Nazis to me now.
Yeah.
But they're kind
it
of
that easy.
relishing it, Mikey. You know, it just
Yeah, the
it- it's-
Nazis did too, and then you saw how
I
that
did
turned
a-
out for 'em.
I did a really crappy little edit of Elon Musk doing his salute, and I cut it into a film of Hitler at the Nuremberg rallies with the crowds saluting him, and it was massively popular, like 1 million views on Instagram, which is massively out of the scale of what I normally get on Instagram. And then I started looking at the comments because a friend of mine wrote to me and said, "Mike, I'm being trolled by the people on this post because I said something about
hell.
it." So I deleted all these guys, blocked all these guys, and then I started looking at the comments, and they're largely people loving it. You know, just, yeah, this is our man, Elon's our hero, and Germans commenting on it. And I took it down in the end because I thought, fuck, I've made the wrong kind of meme. They actually like this.
Jesus Christ.
Because they're bad
Scary.
guys.
They
So
are.
I would like to take this moment. Remember back after 9/11, everyone was like, where are the moderate Muslims to calm down the radicalized Muslim? Where are the moderate whites?
Where's the moderate white guys? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Moderate whites, this is your time. And then you're like, oh.
No, but they're being too
hand-wringing.
nice. They're
What
making
is
cucumber
going to
sandwiches for the
happen?
fascists.
What can we do? How can we stop this?
Yeah.
Well, by standing there complaining that everybody else should stop your people from their thing. This is not any. You can't parse this to anyone else.
Yeah.
No one's influencing them.
We got.
They're being allowed to
Listen,
do what they want
not a
to do,
religious.
and they
I'm not a religious
chose
person,
Nazis, so.
but that bishop, absolutely my hero this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
brilliant.
talk about that is talking truth to power.
Yeah. She was absolutely
That's
fantastic.
exactly what we should all be doing. Yeah. But she did an interview afterwards where she said, "So where's the rest of you guys? It can't just be me saying this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, stand up."
Yeah. But they won't because they're all cowards.
I'm no Nazi defender, but I wish she would have stood up to the Joliet and Chicago Archdiocese when they were shuffling priests around like playing cards, playing hide the queen with pedophiles. So
yeah,
I'm glad she has the fortitude
the Catholic
to yell
Church.
at Trump, who's obviously not going to listen to you, lady. But she had no resolve when it came to protecting children. So text the
Catholic-
church.
Was she around
Catholic-
for all that?
I'm not sure. Was she put in afterwards?
Does it matter when?
Well, I think you can't equate something she might not known, she would have been involved in, or anything like that.
I would have thought if she's got any involvement in it, it would have come out by now. After that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
So she has no involvement in prosecuting and finding the people guilty of the right.
don't get me wrong.
That's what
Hey,
you guys are saying
I
the
don't want to
same
end
thing
up.
I'm
I don't want to end up in the endless trap of the left of having to defend fairy believers. I'm not going to do that. Basically, I'm not going to defend the Catholic Church relationship with the Nazi Party either. So
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's
was a bad
just
time.
it's more of a you know she's damned if she does and she's damned if she doesn't. right?
exactly. Yeah. We can't start fighting internally when somebody stands up and does talk truth to power, whether they've got skeletons in their own cupboard or not. Basically.
we got a super chat that came in from Optimistic Nihilist, which is I don't know if that name is quite right for the comment that you've left. After 300 years of much progress, it feels like the Enlightenment is starting to be reversed. No regard for science or truth anymore amongst a rising number of people around the world. Dire times ahead. About 15 years ago, I was on this shitty old boat called the Shishawani 2, going over to the Comoros Islands from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. And I read a book by Carl Sagan called The Demon Haunted World. And there was a passage in there that is absolutely 100% literally what has happened. He said, I predict there will be a time in my children or grandchildren's lives where facts don't matter, the truth doesn't matter, and you get all these politicians who just lie and cheat their way to the top, and it's going to be horrible. Paraphrasing, obviously. He wrote it much better than I did. But, he was Carl Sagan. He saw it. He saw the future.
So the question then is if that's known knowledge, if we know how the Nazi Party rose in the 1920s and 30s and came to power, if we know how America solved this problem of their own back in the 40s and 50s, when it was rising again, what are we doing this time? Who's getting a grip of this?
We're not doing anything.
Who's standing up to it? Who are the leaders? Who's supposed to be leading this?
No, but then again, in the 1930s, the British government were trying to placate him. We had Oswald Mosley. We had all the British aristocracy so far up Hitler's arse. They could see the future. And also the King of England. The reason why Edward VIII was, told to sling his hook was because he was a fucking Nazi. He tried to sell out the rest of the royal family to be executed, so him and his missus could be king and queen in the 1940s. Creepy little bastard. But Winston Churchill famously, who has skeletons in his closet, he was one of the few people who said this is wrong. These people are fucked up. We need to do something about the Nazis, and they were like, oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. I'm sure they won't actually do anything. Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's the noise and action. It's you got to judge him by what he actually does rather than what he shouts about.
Yeah.
Because all of these executive orders this week, most of which probably will be challenged in courts, hopefully and successfully, but they're all performative. I mean, for God's sake, what was he in a basketball court with an audience of 5,000 MAGA fans signing executive orders like it's WWE wrestling? It's performative politics, isn't it? It's and then he sits and he has, he's not read any of them. They're handing them to him. There's a great Jimmy Kimmel sketch where they're doing a voiceover with this guy just handing him, fake executive orders basically and making up the names of them. Didn't know what
I hereby declare that cheese will now be called Chez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The DC diocese on their website right now, they have 41 accused clergy members, and they've had several settlements that they've paid out. Like, I get it. I'm salty and I'm grumpy, but I'm right. Like,
no,
I don't need her to like yell at Trump because, again, he's not gonna fucking listen. He's stupid. He's very, very dumb, and he doesn't understand how to learn a lesson after like reading a book. Like, he can't do that on his own. Fine.
Not to badly paraphrase the Bible myself, basically, but let he who has not sinned throw the first stone, I think is the phrase, isn't it?
But I don't like when like now she has this like badge and cape of honor and courage and doing all this stuff. It's just like, you yelled at the stupid guy that everyone's been screaming at their TV about for the last 10 years, and
but they've been screaming at their TV, Mikey. They didn't say it to his face.
I would definitely say it to his face, given the opportunity.
But you'll never get that opportunity, will you? She had that opportunity. She did it on camera.
She proper upset him.
And I think that she should be sort of, held up for doing it. Yeah. But I'm sure that, everywhere in the world, we all know the church is shit. We all know it sucks, right? But unless that woman is proved herself to be a pedophile, right? I'm not going to sit there and just discredit the one good thing that actually came out of this week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to accept the bitter with the sweet. I'm going to reject all of it.
But then you'll never win. You'll never win, Mikey.
Win what? What is this winning? What is the winning we're talking about?
Well, the left always lose, and this is the reason they always lose.
So if Elon does a Nazi salute and then donates a bunch of money to charity, the Nazi salute's like taken away.
No.
Like, you don't get to be a bishop in an organization that's predatory towards children, and then I'm supposed to like.
But Mikey, what does she
later.
do? What does she do if she joins a church that doesn't have a paedophile history, which is probably quite a rare thing to find?
Yeah.
Then does that make it okay because it's still within her history? Does she give up the church and renounce God altogether, and then she wouldn't get the chance to stand in the pulpit in front of the president and say that stuff anyway? So I mean, I get you, but it's difficult. It's difficult for us to say that wasn't an example in the moment of her standing up and speaking truth to power. I think it was, and it's laudable. And the more of that happens, and the less that we rely on bishops and clergy to do that, and the more that the fucking politicians get a grip on their souls and start calling them out. But as you said before, half the politicians are as bad. The Democrats, half of them are sitting there going, well, we don't want to upset these future donors.
Yeah, well, they're not going to have any future donors because they're going to be dead. I think he's going to kill them.
I saw two of them being interviewed today about the fact they think Zuckerberg has done what he's done because he was worried about going to jail.
Yeah, for the rest of his life. Trump said, I'm going to put you in jail for the rest of your life unless you get down on your knees and do what I bid. And he went, okay, I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life. I'll do whatever you say, sir. Gareth T, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. From a while ago, everyone was just having a little bit of domestic here on the channel.
Trying to sort the kill, I think.
Yeah. Gareth T, I'm sick of hearing Trump is a man of the people and speaks common sense. The man couldn't want to piss up in a brewery, let alone a country. He's not wrong, is he? Thank you very much, Gareth. You are absolutely right. But he is going to run a country. He's going to run it into the ground. But, I was going to ask Mike.
It'll be interesting to see what...
If Fauci or John Bolton or whoever's had their security detail taken away by Trump, if one of them dies, gets shot dead by one of the people who got released after, the Trump released 1,500 Capitol rioters, terrorists, domestic terrorists, what will happen? Will that be the lighting of the blue touch paper? Will things start really kicking off at that point? Or do you think that the American people have been so cowed over the years that they're just going to roll over and take it?
Depends on which people you're talking about. Because if we're talking about anybody who's for this billionaire class takeover, then they're going to look the other way, just like they looked the other way at the inauguration speech with Elon. I'm talking about 4 or 5 major networks that had none coverage over this, when every time anybody farted during the campaign, there was 16 videos about it. I'm talking about from the end of that speech to 4 o'clock the next day, there was nothing on CNN's YouTube, MSNBC, Fox News didn't even cover it. Everybody just looked the other way.
Yeah.
So if their news is willing to look the other way, the people will definitely look the other way. But if people know about things, they don't like to look the other way. So
right.
As long as they know about it, I think they'll be upset about it. But who knows if they'll even hear about it?
Well,
they'll literally just not cover shit and just not tell motherfuckers.
I think if Fauci was to be assassinated, then it would be in the news. I don't think it wouldn't be mentioned.
It would be world headline news.
Yeah.
And I also my opinion is that these people that were pardoned this week, or just let go, should we say? I think there's going to be eyes on him for a little while. I think there's going to be people waiting for them to slip up, because, the press, they are right now, they're all up in his ass. But when things start to go a little south, then they're going to be trying to dig little holes into things that he's done or is doing or is done. So little things like this will just be sort of like the icing on the cake of, eggs are still $9 a dozen or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like he's gonna fuck things up this year. Yeah, the next year. We're a week in. Like, it feels like the end of the world, and we're a week in. We got 4 more years of this, right? So if you think, well, he's given a year, right, for him to put his tariffs in, for him to not do anything about any of the things he promised. Just kind of, I think there will be some media turning against and going, well, wait a minute. And I think people that were pardoned will have a little bit will have some eyes on them. Because if they fuck up in any way, shape, or form, I think that the press will expose it.
One of the children of one of the guys in there, he snitched on his dad, and his dad's in the camera getting out of jail, like, "Oh, I love you, son. Can't wait to get home." Like, very threatening. You know what I mean? Like, some of these people had to be, had to go to court, and people testified against them, and you have just cut them loose. Are you going to provide temporary protective orders for all of these people? He never said anything about it. He didn't think about it. You know what I mean? Are you going to make sure that there's restraining orders so that they can't return maybe to like a home that you had with a spouse that it's logically chosen to leave you? Like, there is none of that has been put in place. He's just literally let them out.
Yeah.
So what about the families that weren't, you know what I mean? Like, who are not willing to be underneath the psychopathic, crazy ass motherfucker that's been out of their hair for the last 18 months or whatever. Yeah. Like, there are unintended consequences for the bullshit that he's doing.
There's no doubt what he's done is absolutely horrendous. Like, bad. That's really bad shit. I'm really
from his point of view, it's the same as I think on January the 6th, the security services came to him and said there were people getting in with weapons, and he said, "Well, I don't care. They're not going to hurt me."
Yeah.
And I think that's the way he's looking at these people. They are dangerous criminals, but they're his dangerous criminals.
Yeah,
and
they're brown shirts. He's got 1,500 brown shirts who will die for him and kill for him.
Yeah.
Probably even
Except for that one lady who said that she wouldn't take her part in.
She's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna chill out in here."
She's like, "I did wrong. I know it."
I saw what the economy. I know what the economy is about to be like out there. I already lost my apartment.
I would go back in. I would get bad 3 times a day.
Homegirl, my bunkie is not so bad. Like, she talks a lot, but I can deal with that because.
Let's talk about the economy. So one of the things he's done this week, he suspended all federal employees who were hired in any way with DEI. In any way,
what he calls DEI,
what he calls DEI, which
is just randomly selected.
My partner
from everybody who's black,
pretty much anybody who's black.
If my partner worked for the American government, she would be suspended because she's deaf, and they'll say, well, that was just a diversity hire, even though she's a PhD physicist. But she'll be.
But probably not if she takes the pledge that Trump is the best president ever and should be president forever.
Then she'll have time to go through all that. But then you've got that. You've got the undocumented migrants who are downing tools and not showing up for work because they're worried they're going to be taken away by ICE. And then you've got the fact that eggs have already gone up 37% this week in price, and if there's no one farming, the price of all food's got to go up in America. And then he's threatening all these different countries with massive trade tariffs. Like, the American economy is about to explode. Is this the plan? Is this he's going to replace the dollar with the Bitcoin or the Trump coin or something?
The Trump and Melania coins. Yeah.
They have no idea what they're doing. They're trying to make like racist capitalism, but it doesn't work. Like, you can't be racist and want to make money. Like, being racist is bad for business. You can't by trying to segregate everything, you end up spending more than if you would have just been more inclusive and taken in all sources and had fair trade agreements. He doesn't get that. And he thinks that he can just, I'm big bad America, I can do whatever I want. Okay. You don't want that. You don't want to be the big honcho in charge of everything. That makes it worse. Yeah. You want things to come to your country at a discount because, it's fruit. And that's a good idea. Or like when people send maple syrup from Canada and we pay less than they would, like, he doesn't understand how the economy works. He doesn't understand how any of this works. Well, that's why he got handed billions of dollars and he's still bankrupt 6 times. Like, he doesn't understand money. Fundamentally, he doesn't understand finances. Yeah. That's why he can't figure this out.
We forget that, with all the rhetoric, which is all spoon-fed to him at the end of the day, we forget that he's actually not that smart. And a lot of the people around him
college in the 70s.
He's the ultimate DEI hire because he's fucking useless. I mean, the guy is a fucktard, and they've allowed him to become the president of the United States because his daddy was a rich racist who wouldn't let people live in his flat if they were the wrong color. Like, I mean,
plus he fills the quota for having orange employees, doesn't he?
Yeah,
that's not the only thing his dad did. His dad was also at Klan rallies in New York back in the day and would travel with them. Like they were Nazis. Yep. And then you can go back and go through YouTube and look for him saying, they always told me, don't say the word Nazi.
But the issue, like, the clown nature of Trump is important, but it's the people stood behind him that were paying to be behind him that worry me more. So the tech bro oligarchy now, which is, the parallels to Henry Ford and Elon Musk keep striking me. Henry Ford was a racist. He supported the Nazi Party. He tried to use his money to gain media influence and anti-Semitic publications all the time, and tried to get influence over the government. The Musk is just following that pattern. Yeah. Trump has got all the oligarchs on board not in the way that that the Carnegies and everybody of the world used to be, i.e. pumping millions of dollars in to get power, but also having almost socialist attitudes to how they use their money most of the time. I'm absolutely stunned to be corrected on that, but they built museums and libraries.
Randolph Hearst wasn't very socialist, but yeah, Carnegie,
no,
I guess, Rockefeller.
But now they had more power over the politicians than these guys do. These oligarchs are in Trump's control, like Putin controls the oligarchs of Russia.
Absolutely.
They're under threat of having their business taken away from them tomorrow. By law.
Get in line. You saw what I did to TikTok. You saw what I did to Jeffrey Epstein. I'll put you in jail and make it look like a fucking accident.
Yeah, and they stick an idiot up front, which is what Hitler was as well. He was an idiot that the money people were happy to go along with.
Yeah,
because it got them reduced regulation. They could stop doing workforce policies.
We're out of the Paris Climate Accords, all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a flashback.
I just don't think these tech pros. I don't think these tech pros are as smart as they think they are.
No,
they might be smart at tech. They might be good at the geekery of computers and how to build websites and etc. But are they, when it comes to policy that is going to govern a people, do they actually know what they're talking about? No, they don't.
They don't even know how.
They're only looking after their interests. So this is why what all these policies that Trump's talking about is going to fail. It's going to go to shit. And
particularly because he's chosen the stupidest of the tech bros to be the leader of the tech bros. So Musk is. I cannot believe, whatever I think of Zuckerberg, I cannot believe that he's standing there looking at Musk as some sort of tech hero for himself. Basically, it's
it's ridiculous considering Twitter came from the idea of Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. It's just stripping out the concept of statuses and making tweets. So, Mark Zuckerberg really is if there's a head of the oligarchs, it's him, right? He came up with the thing that really, really took off. I mean, we had all sorts of stuff before that.
Again,
you know what I'm saying?
He came up with the way to sell.
He came up with the thing that was the most successful. But again, that does not mean that he, by any means, is smart or intelligent enough to create decent government or leadership policy. Just because he did that doesn't mean he could be the president of the United States or something. You have to have a certain skill set.
And then you look at Tim Cook and Sundar Pichai, right? You've got to. I'd give them more credit for their intelligence, to be honest with you. But then again, not really qualified to run any kind of country. Tim Cook, openly gay. Sundar Pichai, an immigrant, Indian background. What do they think they're doing? What are they standing behind this guy, propping him up for? And it can literally only be they don't want to go to prison. They don't want Google to be ripped apart. And split into smaller parts and handed out.
Put their money behind somebody who's not going to fuck with them, business-wise, and that's basically what that is about. A lot of government's been getting on the backs of Facebook and Twitter and all that. How many committee meetings do we see Mark Zuckerberg in? When they asked about collusion with Russia and the Cambridge Analytica, things like that. So someone like Trump, who, regardless of what his influence is now, he was always pro-business, and and so the Republican Party as a whole. So it makes sense to do that. What really creeps me and weirds me out is the change socially, because when Facebook blew up and everything, there was actually, I think it was, if I remember correctly, there was the idea of inclusion. And the idea, it was the first platform that let you say that you were gay, right? But now he's rolled back protections for gay people on his own platform. And he said very bizarre things in his little weird video that he did with his little curly Q hair, talking about masculine energy.
Time to be macho. Let's go.
Yeah, it's very,
give me a manly
bizarre.
Chain and a black t-shirt.
We just had another super chat come in from Tim. Thank you very much, Tim. It's very kind of you. Both President and Vice President indicate US Justice Department will no longer prosecute anti-abortion activists. There was a bunch of anti-abortion activists who were they
She got cut loose.
but they weren't in jail, were they? They were just, there was an exclusion zone that there were certain places they couldn't go, and they've all been lifted now. They can go anywhere they want. Is that right?
One of them was in jail. She just got released.
Oh wow.
What's this Minnesota law about? What was it? I was reading in the chat that somebody's come up with a law that suggests that contraception starts at the erection.
Yes.
Oh, that is Mississippi, I think.
Mississippi, but it's a
Mississippi,
Democrat who's put it in just
It's
to take the
actually a
piss.
Democrat who's put this forward, saying that it starts at the erection. This is a weird thing with America. America has a very,
Gotta
very,
give boys
very
flaccid
wait,
pills.
Sorry, Mikey. America has a very weird thing about masturbation, and it's very nervous of it. And it's a very.
I mean, Scott, we don't. Despite what you might think, we
Huh?
don't encourage it in the streets in England anymore.
No.
Oh shit! That's why I got arrested last night. Now it all makes sense.
Well, all right. I want to
Just yelling.
Can I just indulge me for a second?
Yeah.
Right. But in America, right, when you're growing up as a boy in America, the idea of jacking off, the idea of jerking off, whatever, that is looked down upon in your peer group, right?
Really?
You're looked at as like kind of a loser for doing that, right?
Well, you don't talk about it.
Exactly. Whereas in England,
You talk about it all the
it's
time.
almost part of your banter.
Yeah, it is.
To admit it.
You fucking
That's
wanker.
disgusting.
You're a wanker.
That's disgusting.
I
don't wanna hear any of
Oh,
that.
sorry, the English guys. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the thing. So this doesn't
I never
surprise me
knew
at all.
this. This is knowledge. This you're imparting secret knowledge here, because obviously we don't know what it's
talks
like
about
to
that?
grow up in another country.
Right? Did you just hear his attitude?
Who
about
talks about that? That's
that? Talks about
disgusting.
that. That's gross.
Why would I want to listen to you telling me about you having a night? Like, that's none of my business. Keep that to
Should we,
yourself.
Graham?
Tom Time.
Should we?
They're weird
Should we
about
tell? Should we tell Mikey about the soggy biscuit game or not?
Do you know about the
They know about that.
Well, no, Limp Bizkit were named after it, so I just thought that maybe there was
America, you'd have
They
thought-
know about that. That's not that's
obviously
not unusual.
something about Mary. He famously jizzes on his ear, and then she puts it in her hair. American Pie.
But they're very strange about it. The Americans are very strange about it. So when I heard about this today, I was like, this is just so American to me, because it is so fundamentally within fundamental Christian churches and stuff like that. Masturbation is completely frowned upon. It is considered a sin
It's a
to
sin.
do. So, huh?
I was just singing the Pet Shop Boys really badly.
It's a sin.
It's a sin.
So, with their weirdness about masturbation and, with religious leaders, so is the very idea that you're going to find someone $1,000 for ejaculating without being inside of a vagina is ridiculous.
It's kind of fun.
It's
though.
a classic.
But as far as America is concerned, not surprising.
Hey, we'll be rich by sunset.
Right, literally.
Just to slightly derail what we're talking about at the moment, Dave W's just put in a really good point in the chat, well, about 10 minutes ago, saying, don't forget Burns night tomorrow, haggis, neeps and tatties. So we actually have a haggis in the fridge that we're going to cook tomorrow. We're going to make some neeps and tatties, and we've got some Talisker whiskey, some really nice Talisker.
I have
That
Do
sounds
you-
okay.
You're lucky to have electricity up north, aren't you? At the moment?
literally that. I'm
You
surprised
bloody
my house hasn't been
Southerners!
blown away.
What?
No. I
We have the
genuinely mean
internet
it
and
because
everything.
we were hit by quite a major red warning storm.
Oh, yeah.
1.8 million homes up north have been
Yeah,
knocked out.
well,
of power.
that's more up in Scotland. That's where they had the red warning. And Ireland, they've had.
It's
Yeah,
all the
pretty
same,
bad.
isn't it?
They're
Here,
definitely not
it
cooking
was
haggis
it was
tomorrow.
blowing this morning, like at 6 o'clock in the
Watford,
morning.
Liverpool, Edinburgh. That's all Scotland, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
no.
sorry.
Oh, mate, if you said that in Scotland, they'll chase you up a tree and set fire to it. You'll be in so much trouble. They will set the wild, hairy haggises on you. But when we were talking about, America, how they do things differently, haggis is illegal. I never talked about this before as well, but like haggis
didn't know
is
that.
illegal in America. Yeah, because it's got sheep lung in it, and that the
Which is
FDA
that's
says
very
no.
strange because they pack their turkeys with all the bits and pieces of
Oh yeah.
the
The
turkey, but they
giblet.
sell it for Thanksgiving.
I don't know why they just decided
They call it giblets.
that of all the things that should be banned in America, it shouldn't be AR-15 assault rifles. It should be
You know what?
haggis.
Kinder eggs are banned in America,
Kinder
so
eggs, yep.
you know.
With the toy in.
Are they made of sheep lungs?
Yes, they are. That's the inside.
No,
of the
just
Kinder
American
eggs
children are too stupid, and they
Not to
end up
eat them.
drinking toys.
Unpasteurized cheese. Although that might change now that Robert F. Kennedy's the head of health in America, and he thinks that.
Well, yeah, he wants every.
you have to-
What was it? He said unpasteurized milk, wasn't
Pasteurized
it?
milk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
raw milk.
Raw milk.
Good thing there's
You're
not
all
a
gonna
bird.
die,
Good thing there's not a bird flu going
and the
around.
World Health
Yeah.
Organization isn't gonna help you.
and America's pulled out the World Health Organization. They pulled out
Yeah.
the climate change.
So we won't even know when there's fucking bird flu in the milk.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
the
you guys
regular
are
stuff will
passing it
still
human
be
to human
here.
now, aren't you?
There's no one to test it. The CDC's getting defunded. So yeah,
Right.
if there's a pandemic in America, millions
You're all
are going to
fucked.
die. Just as simple as that. Because
Yeah,
wearing
and
a
the-
Oh
mask
wait,
is woke.
wait. He has concepts of a plan for all of this.
Yeah.
What if
We're
you
going to
have
be
a
No,
talking
these
about.
are his concepts of his plan. He has done
Does it
them.
involve
The thing is, no, but this
sunlight
is
into
the
your
thing
lungs?
about Trump that's important is that all he's really got to do for most of his base is just say, "I'm going to get rid of FEMA," and then he doesn't get rid of FEMA, and it doesn't matter. Basically, it makes no difference to his base because they'll just believe that thing he said in a clip because he was funny, and then Elon was standing behind him, dropping ketamine and doing a
You know what,
Nazi salute.
you're completely right, and it's so easy to forget that. It's so easy when you get caught up in the rhetoric. It's so easy. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to make the
He's not
world
gonna do any of
horrible. And
it.
it's like half the shit he says he doesn't do. And like even with the whole birthright thing, like courts instantly stepped in and went, no, you don't get to play with the Constitution like that. Like,
I was thinking
Well,
about. I was
that'll
thinking
go to the
about that.
Supreme
There was
Court and they'll
there was
allow
at
it.
least sort of nearly 48
It
hours. in
doesn't work
between
like that,
Trump's-
Graham.
Trump's executive order and the court kicking it out. Yeah.
yeah.
So how
Didn't take
many
long.
thousands of babies were born in those 2 days whose status in America is now in question?
Well,
There's going to
yeah.
be court cases. There's going to be people having to try and prove their child is American because they were born on those 2 days.
Possibly, but I mean,
So
I think any court in the land within
We'll throw it out.
no,
yeah.
but they will.
Yeah, just
It'll
throw
go
it
to
out. Yeah.
it'll go to the Supreme Court, and they will
Yeah.
say there is a provision in the 14th Amendment, and basically it's for the sons and daughters of diplomats. So you don't want Russian spies coming over, diplomats, and having children, and then those children are automatically American. So there's a get out for that particular situation.
Yeah, they're all princes. Okay.
But the Supreme Court is very much up Trump's arse, and they can interpret it however they want. And if they
So
decide,
then
yeah,
I don't think they'll be
if
able to
your
reach that
mother-
next 4 years.
if your mother or father is an illegal immigrant or doesn't have a social security number, then your child is not from this country. And I can see it going through. And don't forget, there's a lot of countries where there's no such thing as like you're born here and you're automatically British. We just don't have
True.
that rule here.
Yeah.
So I can see it being.
But it is
gotten
it's
rid
a
of.
foundation of American.
It's literally a foundation of America.
I mean,
yeah.
literally, it's
It
constitution.
has to go
Oh,
through.
the-
It has to go through the states.
Who cares? America's not going to be around in a few years anyway. Anyway, Tim Ballum, thank you very much. Biscuits and gravy, puke. Thanks for that, Tim.
You forgot.
and
You
Tim-
forgot the other part of the 14th Amendment. You guys should
Yeah.
probably read it all the way through. Like the whole reason that there is a 14th Amendment is
yeah.
because black people
Yes,
weren't
I was
allowed
about to
to
say
be
that.
citizens because
Yes.
they
Yeah.
didn't
They
determine that we
weren't
were
declared
people.
as citizens until this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
so
really,
on
this
top-
is not
so
about immigrants. This is about black people.
Do
again.
you think?
When they said
Yes.
DEI woke to 14th Amendment, yeah, they're trying to remove birthright citizenship.
Take away their
From-
job rights, take away their jobs, and then take away their citizenship, and then try to ship them back to
Wherever-
Africa or some bullshit
wherever
that.
they want to send us. Good luck.
Well, it's like not to bring up the thorny issue of the Bishop of Washington again, but a number of right wingers suggesting that she should be deported. And you go, where the fuck to? Basically, it's
I know, they're so crazy. And these are just morons that say things on the internet. What I've done this week myself, I've started a new job this week. So I've kind of immersed myself into that. Thank you. I've immersed myself into that, and I have tried so hard to just not be on the social media side of it. I'll be honest with you, when I looked up the politics social chat today, there were 200 unread messages. Like, I've tried to stay out of it. The mighty details, the rhetoric, it's going to get too much, and we're going to get ourselves into such a tiz. And
I think we have to filter.
I want to know what's going on. I don't want to read between the lines, but I also want to remember the fundamental shit like we've talked about tonight, which was a lot of shit Trump says he's not going to do, and all that sort of thing, and just try to keep a level head about it a little bit, because I don't want to end up like Graham and just think that America is going to be dead in 3 years and it will just, all die. Everyone will die.
I don't think it will die. I don't think everyone's going to die. I just don't think that the United States of America, the 50 states that we know and love as the United States of America, I don't think it's going to exist in the form that it does at the moment.
I'll be very surprised if it changes, but I'm not disvaluing your opinion.
And it might include Canada and Greenland and Panama and Mexico.
I mean, all of that is just rhetoric. He's not going to be able to do any of these things that he says.
It's the way he does deals. That's the thing.
Denmark told him to fuck off.
If you watch the Apprentice, the film that was out late last year, the way he did deals was to walk into the New York council offices and say, I'm going to build the biggest building ever built in Manhattan, basically. And they all sort of laughed at him. And then he said, all right, I'll build a smaller one then. Like, that's kind of what he does, basically, is he'll go in and say, we're going to buy Panama or invade Panama. And then he's going to cut a deal with the Panamanian government because they've been put under public pressure to talk to him about it.
Yeah. But I genuinely think he's going to do all the things that he says he's going to do. He's going to kill all his enemies and get away with it.
Okay, I think that's
because I think he'll try and encourage the J6s to do it, and they won't, and some will get caught, and they'll be. Yeah, one of the things that Scott was saying earlier, which I think is really important about the people that are being locked up again, is that I think there's a bunch of cops out there following these people to make sure they get locked up again because they killed their colleagues.
Colleagues.
Yeah,
they're not for the blue. There's been a major, if I'm not mistaken, Mikey, hasn't there been a bit of a backlash against this, where people are like, well, wait, what about back the blue? These people killed cops.
Yeah, the cops trade union came out and said, no, this isn't what we expected. And you go, well, why not? Because he said he was going to do it.
He said he was going to do it. I don't know what you were expecting.
Gentlemen, that was merely a way to not appear racist. They actually don't like the cops. They wanted the black people to get their asses whooped and to get shot and killed by the cops, but they didn't want to cheer for it openly. So they said they supported the police as a way of countering Black Lives Matter. They never liked cops in the first place. Just like all lives mattered. Where's that been? Right?
But isn't there been
how many times that like unarmed people are shot, period, by police? White people are shot more. But there is not one single thread of outrage. Our people were being shot disproportionately. We fucking make an outrage about it, and we're exaggerating about a problem that they have worse than us. They don't care about any of this. It was just a counter. So now that the cops are, you know what I mean? So now that we're back to reality, that Blue Lives Matter shit was a facade. It was just a talking point to not appear racist at the moment. We find
that all the time with, I've been on protest marches about the EU and everything in London, and never any trouble, never any violence. And then as soon as you get a pro-Brexit march, they're fighting the cops constantly.
Yeah.
And these are the people that claim to be supporters of law and order, and the cops are on our side.
They're clearly not.
No.
Tim, sorry, I missed your super chat earlier. Thank you very much, Tim Palin. I wish Donald's dad pulled out. Go back in time and kill baby Donny. I was going to say about him, what Trump is planning to do and what he's already done so far. I just think the guardrails are off, and he's just going to trash the place. He wants to make fuckloads of money and live out his weird narcissistic fantasies about being world king, and all the world, being scared of him. And
he wants a Nobel Prize.
He wants
everyone frightened of him, but he wants a Nobel Peace Prize.
But there is a very, very easy way that we can just destroy this
jealous
motherfucker.
of Obama.
And it's not going to require violence, and it's not going to require an election or anything. We just have to laugh at him very loud, all of us, because he can't fucking take it. He loses shit. The whole reason why all of this has happened is because Obama made fun of him in 2010 at the fucking the White House dinner, the correspondence dinner. He made fun of Trump. He said, all his books end in chapter 11 or whatever, because that's the bankruptcy thing over there. And that was it. Trump was like, that's it, I'm going to have my revenge. And this is just big fucking vengeance streak is what he's been doing.
Let me put a wrinkle in that, Graham. At Jimmy Carter's funeral, they were yucking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about?
He's a threat to democracy, guys. He's going to be a fascist. So why are you hanging out with him, dude?
Michelle's the only one that came out with credibility.
Hopefully
Michelle has some good ass sense to not sit next to him.
Hopefully he won't kill me.
Look.
Look. He's got the power now.
Okay. Let me not say
I don't get that. I didn't. I mean, bad optics, but
they all talk to each other on camera and screen.
No, like I said, they handed the keys
was at
to
the
the castle
inauguration
on a pillow with a mint.
Yeah. It's because
with a flower in their hair.
It's because
so
they are the
aroma might be
only
pleasing to them.
They're the only six. Is it six of them still alive? They're the only six guys that know what's happened in Area 51 and who killed JFK.
That bothered me. That bothered me. That whole. I mean, it's just another thing on top of the other useless bullshit things that he's been doing.
What's RFK said about it? We haven't heard shit from that guy.
He's got to give them RFK's involved in the release of the JFK documents in some way.
Of course he is.
They're going to
they're doing the ML. They're doing Martin Luther King and RFK as well. We're going to get the whole trilogy.
We already know what happened. The government already paid.
Mikey.
Paid the family out. Like,
no,
what are you talking
Mikey.
about?
Yeah,
they're releasing the secret files that have been written up in the last years.
When they were sending him letters, like the family's already told everybody what's happened. So if everyone wants to read it, I mean, they already wrote books about this.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything revelatory going to come out except for the fact that the CIA were probably tailing Lee Harvey Oswald for months before he did it, and they fucked up, and they were waiting till all the people who fucked up are dead before they tell everyone that it's basically their fault that JFK died because they fucked up the job.
Can you think of a modern analogy for that happened recently in the UK?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, what this kid who's been put in jail for 52
whose
years, yeah.
father was contacting Prevent and saying you need to do something about this kid.
Yeah.
It's resources. When you look into that story, that was about the Tories actually cutting the budget for Prevent.
Literally that.
Year on year for 8 years. Their budget at the moment is about 1.4 million or something. It's like the tiniest amount of money possible in government expenditure.
Yeah, but that kid was being seen at Alderhay Children's Hospital, and it came on the radio as breaking news today because it's just down the road from me here in West Derby. I was driving past the hospital, and they went breaking news, Alderhay Children's Hospital. I was like, whoa, they're watching me. They're watching me. But yeah, he said stop going. There was another story about a horrific story today about a woman who went shopping and left her 4 young children in the house on their own, all aged like 3-4 years old, and there was a fire and they didn't get out. And she had been referred to social services. She had been, and there was a social worker who was trying to raise the alarm about this woman being an unfit mother and that she couldn't look after her kids. And there just isn't the resources to do anything about it. And now those kids are dead. And
well, this is the whole lack of social care, social all of that is all related. It's all intertwined. And here we are. People are going to die because it's all been undercut. People are going to die.
Yes.
People are gonna die unnecessarily and in undignified ways.
Yes.
Unnecessarily and undignified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they
as
cut
a modern
everything to the bone.
Like as a modern society, like for you guys and for us over here, there are basics that we're not meeting, and the reason we're not meeting them is for profit.
The billionaires want the money.
It's for profit for people who aren't even sharing with us.
Yeah.
At some point, enough has to be enough, and you have to I don't know what the right first step is, but the taxation of these guys has to be like monumental.
Well, this is why they've all gotten behind Trump in America, because he's not going to tax them in the same way that Kamala
Not tax
would.
them at all.
Yeah,
and they're going to repeal the Affordable
he will be
Care Act.
taxing them. He will be taking a cut for himself later on.
That's for himself. That's not for the government. That's not.
No, but that's his tax. His gangster tax.
And I want to put a little seed in the back of everybody's head. While all this is happening, remember that there's like a foreign revenue service that he's trying to make, like a exterior revenue service or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pay attention to where that money goes, because no one will ever know. They'll never tell us where that money goes. They're gonna take that money from countries, so they say. That's not how tariffs work, but it's gonna that money's just gonna disappear, and they're just gonna fleece. This is a scam. This whole tariff thing is a scam. Yeah. They're going to make companies pay tariffs to a department that doesn't exist, and no one's going to know where the money is. That motherfucker can't even run a nonprofit in New York anymore because his books were so cooked that the fucking two accountants he had gave their entire notebooks over to the authorities and said, hey, there it is. I don't want no problems. Let me off.
But this is a tried and tested method. It happened here. When our tax money was being all the cuts for the austerity, where was all that being funneled to? Right. And then all of a sudden we have a pandemic. All this money is flying out the door to all these friends and family and rich people to create these things that they have no idea how to create. So that. There'll be a paper trail in the end.
Well, I was reading today about the Melania and Trump meme coins that they launched last weekend.
Yes.
And the idea there, the writer was talking about the fact that so all you've really got to do now is make a donation, buy some Trump coin from the treasury that Trump holds. And then, although it's anonymous, but you can prove that money was paid in because you'll have a number on the blockchain. So you just ring up Trump and you say, okay, look, this is the money I've just put into your blockchain for your coins from the treasury. I'd like you to do something about the Middle East. He's made billions of dollars out of that. That is untraceable money. That is literally just
that's why they
there
want
for corruption.
That's why they wanted
for
it.
corruption. Yeah.
I actually, this is a funny story. I started a new job. This girl, it's like the second day there. Because I'm American, people tell me shit, right? She admitted to me, and she showed me on her phone that she spent $1,000 on a Trump coin.
Oh, jeez.
And now it's worth half of that.
I was about to say he just rug pulled. He pulled out almost 40% of the coins to go put it into the Melania coin that he launched.
I think she said she's lost 60% of her money already.
And they don't care.
That makes about right.
They don't care because
it's hard because I don't know this woman, right? I don't know her. I'm gonna be working
to sell her something
for the foreseeable
sell her
future.
something, Scott.
Sell her something, Scott.
Sell her something she doesn't need. Sell her a fucking bridge.
Sell her that fan. Tell her it's from Trump.
Yeah.
$200.
One thing.
Sell her a guitar. Tell her that.
Are you serious?
Tell her that John Lennon once used it.
That's my baby right there.
I'm having an almost satirical.
I will get rid of everything in this room except that fan.
Me and that fan go back. We were together through some hot times.
Satirical set of meetings with a bunch of guys that are trying to create a crypto coin at the moment, and they were all a bit pro-Trump, when they were talking to me in the beginning, which is why I've kept my hands away from it for all this time. And then after this weekend, they've completely changed and become anti-Elon, anti-Trump
Why?
because
he's fucked
they lost money over the weekend on crypto.
But did they buy Trump coin? Is that why they lost money?
They had some money in it.
Well, then,
And you're
fucking
talking
idiots.
tens of thousands of dollars. And you know, my argument
this is
is
the-
the only reason I'm hanging out with them is
mother.
the same excuse Mikey just gave, which is sell them something, basically.
I
'cause-
fucking hate people. I'm sorry, but
I
what
do.
dickheads. It's like
know.
get rich quick knobheads, and all those get rich
Yes.
quick knobheads as well. They don't want other people to get rich quick, like in America,
No.
which is mad.
No, they want to get rich quick.
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
other
yeah.
people
And
to.
then
tax-free.
slam the door
and
behind
tax-free.
them.
Have you noticed how when rich people get richer, they always avoid tax? They don't pay tax. You know, if you have 10 billion and you go up to 15 billion, right? So your money, your wealth goes up by 50%. You don't pay any fucking tax on that. There'll be loopholes up your ass. Meanwhile, if someone wins 1 million on the lottery in America, they have to pay like 40% of it in tax.
No, that's wrong. It's more than that. You'll probably only get about 42% of that
Sorry,
Wow.
that's me corrected. I'll shut up.
after it's all said and done. You'll get it. You won't even get half. Yeah, you don't even get half.
If you're poor, if you've got nothing, and suddenly you win the lottery, hurrah! You got. And you remember when Oprah Winfrey did the thing where she says, "You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car." Half the
Ford
audience
Taurus, baby.
who got a car had to immediately sell that car to pay the tax for the prize of winning a car. So when I was on the show where I won the island, the Americans on the show were not that bothered about winning because they couldn't really do anything with the prize fund because they knew that half of it would be taken by the IRS. Also,
I mean,
America.
in a way, we shouldn't argue with that. That sounds
But
like a
Am-
goodish thing.
No,
But
I don't think
Amazon,
it is.
but
I don't-
Amazon can put up a warehouse
And not pay
suck
any
up-
tax.
suck up all the jobs in the area, all the workers in the area, and pay nothing.
Yeah.
That's the fucking problem. It just literally sucks the income out of a community, puts it into a billionaire's pocket, and the money is never seen again. And the businesses never come back because Amazon's paying $20 an hour and no one else can even compete with that. So
No.
it's just a virus.
Yeah.
Yep, this is where we are.
Oh, also, I meant to say this 50 minutes ago. It says MSNBC is reporting Chicago public school leaders say ICE showed up at elementary school. ICE denies it was them. They locked them out.
They locked out ICE.
Yeah, they tried to go into the elementary school.
During
class.
That's the start of what
During class.
I honestly believe is going to be one of the ugliest episodes in American history, which is going to start very soon with this mass deportation.
Never mind that Civil War bit, huh? Slavery?
Yeah. Because I don't think most of these people, they're not going to go quietly. What's going to happen if they don't go quietly, right?
Get killed.
They're going to get shot. There's going to be bloodshed on the streets. And it's not going to be just in the cities. This is going to leak into hometown, suburbia, American Pie, because
No,
a
this
lot
is
of
a-
these immigrants will have moved out to the suburbs to assimilate themselves, right? So when they're going to go into the suburbs to rip these people out of their homes, they're not going to come quietly. They probably have guns too. Do you know what I mean? And it's
you
better
how
bring a
American is it
lunch.
to fight for your freedom, right? So it's going
Better
to be
bring a
a
lunch.
mess.
It's going to be a
And
long
at the
day.
moment, just reading that story, at the moment, you're talking not just bishops on the front line, you're talking about elementary school teachers on the front line
Right.
of this against
Right.
military armed ICE agents.
Exactly.
And you all know, like all of us know the kind of people that are getting the jobs in ICE. It's a job that attracts a certain sort of mindset.
It attracts a certain person that would have been let out of prison this week. And so this is where it's going to be. And then it's going to be an episode such as elementary school teachers block children from being taken by ICE are mowed down, are are massacred by ICE. Yeah, this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. If it doesn't, I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope to God I'm wrong. But this is where I say, let's see what happens in a year's time.
But also,
You know,
I
half
don't,
the
I
parents,
don't think you're wrong, mate.
half of the parents are going to be thinking it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, half the
I-
parents.
a lot of them will.
So
but
when
until
people
when they
show
see bloodshed on their streets, will they?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to think.
And
Mikey,
their
what do you think?
neighbors, their white neighbors who have stuck up for immigrants are being shot. Are they going to think that's okay?
They're Democrats, you know, and the MAGA language, the Musk language over the last few months has all been about Democrats being subhumans. You know, they're being put into the category of 1930s Jews, of Muslims. Democrats are now substandard human beings, and
Sorry,
that's
get
right.
Mikey, did you want to come in there?
Sorry, mate.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Shit.
But it's cool.
Say something else.
It's
Shut Scott up for
this
5
is
seconds.
but
Yeah.
this is when people show you their racist side, believe them. I don't hang out and associate with racists for a reason. They are dangerous. They are not to be trusted.
Yeah.
They will backstab. You know? And lo and
I think
behold,
that there'll be a
the
there'll be a
racist
lot
got a
of that.
racist in office again with unfettered racist power, and he's doing racist shit.
Because you're not
So-
only going to
so-
have the wall of teachers that will defend the children, you'll have the teachers in the background bringing the ICE people from the back door to get
Opening the back door, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be shit like that goes on. And it's going to be ugly. It's
Yeah.
going to be so ugly.
Yeah, I'm worried about these flights taking off, and then not being allowed to land. Where are they going to land? I mean, I guess there's a U.S. military base. They can land there, but not all countries have a U.S. military base.
So they'll be taken to the internment camps that we all think they're being built everywhere anyway. You know,
Where's the money coming for this? I mean, there's no housing crisis in
well,
America.
it's weird, isn't it? I don't know. We've got downloaded billionaire mates in the background with money to burn.
It's like, even if the grudge is not justified, when you hold a grudge against people for something that they didn't do, and you try to get revenge on people, you look like an ass. And look, you're not getting none of the shit that they want to get done is gonna get done, because all of that energy is spent on punishing people who have nothing to do with your problems.
Yes.
Nothing. They have nothing to. What are trans athletes doing about egg prices? Unless they are like a professional egg kicker, I don't think that they are the reason that your eggs cost more. There was a fucking bird flu, but you
Hang
guys
on,
don't.
Mikey. Are there
track
professional
about that.
trans egg kickers? Is that a thing? Is that happening?
I said
Yeah,
it
well, that
wasn't.
trans woman, she
because if
she demolished the competition. She beat all the women
She
at
kicked
kicking eggs.
more eggs than anyone else.
Yeah,
That egg went so
I mean, if this is
muscle
true, this
and
is
her
shocking.
bones.
So one of the
The eggs
madder
didn't stand
things
a
that's
chance.
happened this week is one of the executive orders that Trump has signed has said that your sex is determined at the point of conception. So
Everyone's
that
a
means that
female.
we're all
Everyone's a woman.
female.
We're all
because
women.
all,
I gotta put
all
women on all my
eggs,
women on all my
when they
paperwork.
are fertilized for the first 6 weeks, they are female.
That's what I'm saying. These people are not very smart.
They're dumb, dude. They're like real
People are not
dumb.
smart.
You know
They
the
did
little
not
line that
pass
goes
biology.
up between your balls, up your
Yeah,
neck.
that's your
that was your
pussy.
vagina once,
Your perineum.
boys. Yeah. Anyway, so everyone's a female now. That's it.
Sweet.
That's the rules.
Well, that's all right.
So now
Black
you can
girl
go
magic.
into all the women's
That's
toilets
funny because when you think
and
about
you
the
can compete in all the women's
men
sports.
that have transitioned, we actually probably have more in common with trans men in that regard than we like to
Right,
admit to,
right.
really.
Exactly. But it's
that little fact.
it just goes to show that this is more than anything. Well, you got the racist parts, the misogynistic part, the homophobic, the transphobic, and everything else. But above everything else, it's the rejection of science. It's the rejection of everything that humans have learned over the last 2,000 years.
because
And they
it
want to
doesn't
take us back to
ideologically
the fucking
align.
Bronze Age, to the days
Yeah.
where, the demon-haunted world, to go back to what Carl Sagan said.
Conservatism, conserving the old, conserving the old-fashioned, conserving the time before. So let's go back to the time before in every facet.
And it's also because they have a
and
massive.
use the religion, which we all follow, to be the explainer for
reason for
everything,
that, yeah.
like it was 150 years ago.
There's a thing about it's a Dunning-Kruger type effect, basically, but most of the people that argue for this golden age are actually thinking of a time within their own lifetime. And they can't actually conceive of the idea that 2,000 years ago there was a civilization doing another thing, and 20,000 years ago there were humans doing things, and 300,000 years ago and 1,000,000 years ago humans were making fire and telling stories and shagging. They can't conceive of any of that. So,
I think
for them, it goes
wants-
back to their childhood. And if
Right.
you look at Trump and you look at Musk, Musk is playing with his little rockets and his little toy cars. And living on Mars, and Trump is living in a 1980s sitcom, basically. They're looking back
sitcom.
to their youth. Yeah, that's what they're looking back to when it was okay.
I honestly believe that a lot of Americans have had their minds warped by this idea of a golden age. That golden age only ever exists on television.
Yeah.
And for white people.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. Okay, yeah, because I am white, and I think I have experienced what you were talking about, because I had, when I was young, and living in America growing up, I lived in a very white neighborhood. And my mom and dad were very well-to-do at one point. So,
it's that age they want to go back to, is like the age of like the old big body Chevys and cool pickup trucks, and then going to the diner, like that real Americana Happy Days kind of bullshit. Well, that was in the middle of segregation.
Yeah.
Like
Correct
there
me
was
if I'm
no
wrong,
black
Mikey.
people
There
in
is
Happy Days because
there are
colors weren't
towns-
allowed in there. Like,
Am I right? Am I
the
buying
era.
into the sitcom myth? But there are places in America where people still live like that, where they still go to the diner on a Saturday night in their car, where they do bowling, where they do all the Happy Days stuff, basically, because they're living
Very
some
few.
kind of.
There's very little.
I mean,
And
there's
a lot of those
restaurants that
neighborhoods have been
that.
killed by fentanyl and crystal meth.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you can find. I mean, even though it's shit outside now, but there's still a lot of car meets and stuff like that. Like a couple of my neighbors have like classic cars, because that is like something that people like from that day. But then you get the guy that brings in the General Lee, and it's got the Confederate flag on there, and it's just like that part of America was way more racist than like the 90s and the aughts. Like even the 80s were bad. Like maybe not so much towards and being racist doesn't mean only black people. It's other people too. Like the way people used to talk about Native Americans was crazy.
Yeah.
Right
It
to
still
their
is,
face.
I think.
Right to their face. They would just say all kinds of buck wild shit.
Yeah.
And
Literally, I remember being on a school ground where literally kids going, we're going to play Cowboys and Indians. And literally, you know what I mean? Like running around doing that. And that was perfectly acceptable and fine. I mean, it's crazy when I think about that.
Yeah. Just playing the genocide game on the playground.
Yeah. We're playing it on the playground.
Like that's
always weird.
fuck wild.
Yeah.
But it was normal.
Very.
Because we didn't know any better. Like my kid would not like my kid's screaming in the other room, but she's 2 or turning 2. She'll never know about any of that stuff, Like unless told, she'll have no idea. No idea.
No, and I guess the problem now is, with Trump in charge of the education department, etc. It's unlikely she's going to get told the real stories either.
Oh,
unless you tell her, you're going to do that.
I'm going to homeschool, I think.
So
unless there's some kind of gun reform, and I have a guarantee that these kids don't have the plague. Yeah, my kid's not going in there.
So the famous South Park meme where they got the plan, haven't they? And it just has question marks, and then underneath it says profit, right?
Yes.
About stealing gnomes or something. What's the plan with deporting all these people? Like, for not for the government, right? Obviously, it's a vote winner for them. But for the people who are cheering this on, like, what the fuck do they think is going to happen? Like, do they think that the price of eggs are going to come down? Do they think that
they were eating all the eggs?
Their firstborn will return to their bosom? I mean, what's going to happen?
Well, demand will be less, right?
Yeah, they're being told that they haven't got a good job because an immigrant's got it. They're being told that they can't get cheap houses because immigrants are getting them. You know, it's the same as in this country.
Yeah. There's so much demand for eggs. The price is going up. So if we get rid of the demand, the price will go down.
Yeah.
These people don't eat breakfast. Really simple. I worked in grocery for 15 years.
Doesn't work like that.
People don't eat breakfast. They eat cereal. They have like instant oatmeal or like toast, and they're out the door. Americans do not sit down and eat eggs for breakfast. That is a weekend thing that you cook a breakfast.
That's very true. But they use eggs for baking. And Americans love cake.
They buy. I don't know a lot of people that make their own.
Look at them.
I don't know.
Look at them. They're all humongous.
But you can't get a double sausage egg McMuffin without the egg.
You don't make, but they don't make their own cakes, right? They just go buy a cake. Motherfuckers is lazy, man.
We're talking about all those white women making their cakes in their kitchens. No,
I've seen the shows.
I've been around. I've been in some white kitchens.
I watched Barefoot Contessa. That woman ate. That woman was on a diet of eggs and butter.
That's a TV show. She getting paid to make them cakes.
But the obvious thing is that obviously even if you buy a cake or an egg McMuffin, the eggs are costing more money.
She did not give a fuck. She's like, let's add a little bit of butter, and she threw 3 sticks in. She was nuts. She was a heart attack waiting.
Don't nobody cook like the Barefoot Contessa.
No one cooks like that.
They was getting all the chips that were on sale, all the soda that was on sale, frozen dinosaur nuggets for the kids, frozen pizzas, like no vegetables. You know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers are not over here like, oh, let me get some eggs and then maybe I could, get some sun-dried tomato. Like they were not cooking. These motherfuckers eat garbage. They eat shit. They eat like little ass.
Me and my flatmate used to watch her. We predict it. She'd be sat there. She'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna put a little bit of sugar in."
That's like my girl Rachel Ray.
Yeah, we're gonna put a little bit of sugar, and now we're gonna add the butter. And my flatmate would be like, "Watch this shit. Watch this shit." Gonna put enough butter in there for a fucking school of classroom of children.
Down here, Frank. Drop the butter right here. The crane coming in.
Rain of butter.
Graham, more to your point, though, right? It's pretty obvious that that's what they're being sold, is that these people are taking your work, these people are taking your jobs. But if they actually succeed in getting rid of, millions of immigrants, it isn't going to actually have any of those economic effects at all. In fact, how is this? Is this a short-term grift? Does he just do it, keep them happy, steal all the money he can, and then fuck off to Scotland?
He doesn't understand. I think he actually wants to try to do shit, but he doesn't know how to actually do the cause to get the effect that he wants. He's just stupid. And the people that are advising him, Stephen Bannon and Stephen Miller, are equal.
Does it matter? Because he didn't build his wall. He went on and on in the first term about building a fucking wall. He didn't build the wall.
He built
and
some
no
of it.
one has mentioned it since.
He was
really weird.
In his inauguration speech, he said, "We built 500 miles of wall." He said it.
He built some of it.
He believes it.
Why is Steve Bannon still allowed to be around when he literally went to jail for stealing all the wall money?
Well, because he
got. I can't you can't make this shit up.
Because there is a fundamental problem in your system in that a president can give pardons. I mean,
no, I'm talking about people still like Steve Bannon.
But Bannon
obviously
was pardoned.
$500 million.
But he was pardoned by Trump.
Bro, he had a website saying "Help fund the wall."
Yeah, but what about Hunter's laptop?
And then he just kept it. And they were like, "Oh,
that was the thing, wasn't it?
Okay." He just totally stole your money, remember? He went to jail for it, and they're just like, "Oh, good, Steve Bannon's out of jail." I'm like, he just...
You know where he's hanging out? You know where he's hanging out now? He's hanging out with British politicians.
He's in Italy, isn't he? He's got a
all the British politicians are going, all the Liz Truss and the fucking...
Who's hanging out?
Weirdos.
Elon's in Germany.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah, they're all hanging out with him.
Elon's in Germany.
Yeah.
helping out the ADF. You know, they're the OG
A Nazi
Nazis.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
'cause
OG
Milei,
Nazis.
not Milei, but who's the Italian president now?
Meloni.
Meloni. She was at the inauguration, wasn't she? She was
Yeah,
one of
she
the
was.
only
Yeah,
world
she's
leaders
one of
there.
the few.
Yeah. Well, these aren't
I
really
told you
supposed
guys
to go to things. are
Oh,
they?
did you hear Elon's new thing is mega?
Oh yeah, make Europe great again.
Make Europe great again, is it?
Do you know what?
Nah.
Do you know what MAGA
That ain't
stands
gonna
for?
work.
Coming over.
Make
That
America
ain't gonna work.
Gilead again.
It's not gonna work.
It's coming.
It's not. Most
Oh,
Europeans
yeah.
hate.
How can you be so sure, Scott? You always do this. You go, I'm absolutely positive this could never happen.
Absolutely
And then
positive.
the
Trump
things
won't
you
get
say,
re-elected.
I'm
That ain't
absolutely
gonna
positive it's not
happen.
gonna happen. They keep fucking happening. Stop jinxing
But
it.
you know, we do
Right.
know that Europeans
no
on a
way.
whole hate America.
What? No, they don't.
That's why he's
That's
staying
bullshit.
over
Well, they hate
here.
the right wing of
You might
America.
hate America. Listen, one of the things I learned traveling around the world, right? And yes, I've been to every country in the world without flying. I might have mentioned it.
What?
Is that people don't give a fuck.
Nice, Mike.
People don't give a fuck about Britain. Like, they really don't. They give a fuck about football. But that's it. They didn't know who the Prime Minister was of Britain. They didn't care about
And
the
Mr. Bean.
empire and
They
the
like
crimes of
they like
yesteryear.
they like Mr. Bean as a rule.
They like
That's
Mr.
his-
Bean. They like
very
the
popular.
footy.
Sir Rowan
That's all.
Atkinson.
That's all they know about you, basically. You're from Liverpool. There's a footy team called Liverpool. Okay, I've heard of that place.
When
in
you
Britain.
traveled, was there a President Trump?
No.
No.
Right.
But there was a President Bush for many years, who was a complete gobshite.
Oh, he was an idiot, but everybody just knew him as a useful idiot. Trump is a
Man.
different level of it.
But most
Man, it's
people
bad,
don't
that I,
have
it's
an
bad
opinion.
that I want Bush back, huh? Is that bad?
Yeah,
it-
right. At least we did
fuck.
when we were then.
It's a bit like thinking that the average person has an opinion about Malawi. They don't. They just don't. And so you go to Malawi and go, "Do you have an opinion about America?" They're like, I don't know. Just get on with your life, man. So the idea that people hate America, even in Europe, but they don't. Just
I think
they
it's
don't
pretty
think
fair,
about it.
Graham, that most Europeans hate Americans when they come across us. We rub them the wrong way.
I don't.
I
They
don't think that's
like
true,
our
Mikey.
swagger.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
there's a truth to that, and then there's a complete opposite to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't speak for
there's the
Europeans,
Fetish,
but-
there's the fetish of it, but I think generally it's annoyance at our not understanding social customs and
Americans
just
are
being very loud and brash.
Yes, but generally, people like Americans because
Yeah.
Americans are
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
well, I don't know. There's a, you know,
Yeah.
You know, so much of our
Attractive.
culture is American
Is-
culture.
Do you know who
Exactly,
hates? Do you know who
Handsome.
hates Germans when they're outside of Germany? Germans. And it's funny this, and every German I've asked about this. I've asked, is this true? If they hear someone speaking German in the other side of the restaurant, no way are they going over to say hello, right? It's not going to happen. They're not going to speak to them. They're not going to look at them. Whereas if I hear a Scouse accent in the other side of the room, and I'm
You're
in,
off.
you know,
He's taking a
another
seat.
country, I'm like, all right, mate, how's it going? You know, and it's-
Americans
Climbing
like
in
that
the
too.
fork.
and
Americans
are
like
the same.
that
They have an
too.
American accent, they'll be like, you know. But yeah,
No.
I do that for black.
But
black
you've only
rappers.
you've only got to look. You've only got to look at our fawning right-wing politicians in the UK at the moment, all flying over to America to just wave at Trump as he drives by or
To
something.
go
and
to
get
a rally.
snapshot. and then hundreds of them on Twitter at the moment just saying, "Come on, America, buy us. We'll be the next state. We'd
Oh
love
Oh
to be
my
run by
God!
America."
Isn't that
Jeremy
insane?
Clarkson.
Yeah,
Richard
it's
Littlejohn.
crazy.
please come.
And you
come,
you
Daddy.
only have to prick them a little bit and say, you know, America might elect another black guy. Basically, would you be happy that we'd sold our country to them at that point? You know?
Like,
Yeah, but also it's like
Clarkson could have
you
just
spent-
moved over here. He could have moved to
spent
Texas
hundreds
a
and hundreds
long
of years
time ago.
hating the fact that they dissented from you, and now you want them to take you over? Are you crazy?
Clarkson
Like,
could have
Mental.
came over here a long ass time ago, but you know why he won't do it? Because he's scared of all that shit he talked about Americans and how dumb they are and their Ford motor and all of his little shit. That's why he
They
won't come
all
back
say it,
over
though.
here.
No, they all say it. Oh, do you think Pierce Morgan hasn't said all that shit? He said all that shit before. He's gone over there to make money because he thinks you're all stupid.
He won't live over here though. That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Like they'll abuse the American sheep.
No, yeah,
but-
100%.
sheep
All of them
fuckers.
do it.
So, talking about people living in America, what about Prince Harry?
What about
Yes,
him?
he won this week. He
did win.
smashed. He smashed the sun.
I mean, just to be devil's advocate, do you think he genuinely won?
Yes,
Because he
absolutely.
didn't have his day in court.
100% he won because he got them to admit.
apologize.
Apologize, admit they've broken the law, so they can hand over that dossier to the police and say, arrest these motherfuckers. That's all he
The
wanted.
police are already looking into it.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, it's not about
The
the
eight
money.
figures didn't help. I mean, didn't hurt.
Yeah, but
That's
it
cool,
wasn't
too.
about the money. It was about them admitting for the first time in over 1,200 deals that they've done where they've given someone a non-disclosure agreement to sign and given them a load of money to shut them up. They spent over £1 billion shutting people up about the phone hacking, which went on since, 1996 with Harry, when he was, 8?
That's crazy.
And they've admitted it. They said, yeah, we did that. We hacked your mum's phone. We destroyed people's lives because...
And we're sorry.
You had people who...
Right.
Something happened in their life, like they had a miscarriage. And the only people who knew that were their partner and their mum. And the next day it was in the front pages of the news. And you imagine what that does to your relationships, where you're like...
You can't trust anybody.
No, and this is what they did to literally hundreds of people in the public eye. And it wasn't just celebs who you could say, well, they deserve it. They're famous and rich. This was done to ordinary people. And the most outrageous example was when they hacked the phone of a murdered schoolgirl during an active investigation into finding out who the hell killed her. They hacked into her voicemail and they deleted messages off her voicemail on her phone.
Millie Downer. Yep.
So the fact that he got this apology, they have admitted, they said, yes, we did hack phones, we did use, unlawful methods to, get this information.
How did they do it?
He's
Did clone in the SIM card and then
No. It was a lot easier than
really
that.
simple.
All
really
you need to
simple
do
hack.
is call the number and then you press
Right.
8 or something that put you through to voicemail, and then it asks you for a code. And if you hadn't set the code, it was just 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they could listen to everyone's voicemail. And there's a clip of Penis Morgan admitting doing this in front of Charlotte Church when she was
What's his name?
17. Penis Morgan. He's a guy, penis guy. And he's like laughing about it. He's like, well, you should have set it up properly, shouldn't you? Oh, it's not my fault you don't know how your phone works.
And,
Yep.
that's the guy who's like, come on now, let's have a fair and just debate about Israel Palestine. It's like,
oh, well, no.
why are you even here,
Mikey,
slime
why do
ball?
you think he's back there? Why do you think he's back there? He's back there because a guy went on the TV show he was hosting, the biggest morning program in the country, Good Morning Britain, and said, you hacked kids' phones. That's what you did. You're obsessed with the royals. You're obsessed with Harry and Meghan, and you hacked kids' phones. And he walked off. And he went straight to America. Again.
He went straight. His ass went straight to YouTube. He said, "I don't have
YouTube
to
and
take
America.
this. I don't have to take this."
Via Mr. Murdoch.
Walked out of a multi-million-pound job because his ego can't take the fact that he did this, and he will never admit it. He will never admit it.
Down with him, it was an obsession about Meghan, wasn't it? Because he tried to date her.
Meghan Markle is crazy.
I mean,
it just can't handle rejection.
It's so
it's
pathetic.
exactly what happened.
So, Mikey, there's a really great, I don't know if it's a meme or just like something that gets shared on Facebook, but it's two news stories, right? Side by side, and one will be about Meghan, and the other one will be about Princess Kate, and they'll be exactly the same thing. It'll be like they eat avocados. But for the Princess Kate story, it'll be, isn't it lovely? Isn't it healthy? Isn't she such a great person eating avocados? She's actually saving the whales by eating avocados. And then
3 butterflies had their wishes come true because she.
Literally.
You're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but literally, for Meghan, it was she's eating blood avocados, right? Because
destroying the environment,
Mexican gangs killing people for their avocados, and she's allowing this. And there was a series of these that went round. There was another one, and it was absolutely unbelievable. It was the bouquet of flowers. One of the little page girls or bridesmaids was holding at the weddings of both Princess Kate and Princess Meghan. and there was a lily of the valley flower in this bouquet, right? Which, as anyone who's watched Breaking Bad knows, can be deadly.
Racing.
Yeah, in the story about Princess Kate, it was like, oh, what a great, beautiful nod to tradition. This was the flower that was used in
Diana's.
Yeah, Princess Diana's bouquet, and before that, Queen Victoria had it on her grave, and all this kind of shit.
In 1853.
For Meghan, it was like, Meghan tries to kill this poor bridesmaid to death with ricin poison. And it's like, what? It's the same story, but one person doing it.
One person's white and the other person's black.
Yeah.
I think.
It's hard out here being perfect, y'all. They hating on us. They hating on us. We trying.
Other quiet heroes this week was Tom Watson, who was the last remaining guy to stick in there with Harry on this, and at great, the problem with our courts, Hugh Grant couldn't afford to stay in the fight with Prince Harry on that court case, and Tom Watson stayed in it despite the potential for becoming incredibly bankrupt as a result of that outcome, because he could have got a victory, i.e. they could have gone to court and proved that the son did all this, and then if
is this the former MP?
Yeah.
Former deputy leader of Labour, actually. He was a good guy, and he's anti-Brexit as well, so I liked him. But that whole thing where he made a speech, and I don't know if you noticed, but like his voice cracked while he was talking, because he talked about the strain that he said, I want to apologise for the strain this put on my former wife, my kids, and they just saw you as collateral to get to an elected official, him. And the whole thing is just so disgusting from beginning to end. And I hate the Sun newspaper. Being from Liverpool, they famously said that they lied about what happened at the Hillsborough tragedy, and they kept lying. And Kelvin Mackenzie, who was the editor of the Sun at the time, has never apologised. He's never stood down from that lying headline.
In fact, he doubles down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Privately educated, of course. John C., thank you very much for the super chat, mate. That's really kind of you. Trump admin questioning Native American birthright citizenship in court based on wording in 14th Amendment, which followed the 1866 Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, so my when I read the amendment the other day, the Native Americans have a kind of get out, don't they, in that clause?
What? The Native Americans?
The 14th Amendment doesn't apply to Native Americans that are in areas that are declared native homelands or something like that. So they've actually got quite a good clause to play with. In a way, they could claim not to be U.S. citizens if they want to.
Oh, right.
But they've got a perfect right to live there.
They're dual citizens.
Yeah.
But I mean, what?
Well, soon probably won't be, but yeah.
This
because that's still their land from I think it was like the 1830s when they were chasing Sitting Bull in the Lakota Sioux, and that's why we have the different Dakotas, where they're named after the different Lakota tribes, Duh, and the Nakotas.
I love the fact that they had this deal, didn't they, with the Native Americans? I think it was in North Dakota, to say, oh no, you can have that land. We don't want it. You can have that. And then they found gold. Or as I think,
get off my land.
I think Black Elk described it as useless yellow metal that makes the white man go crazy. They said, oh no, we need this now. And there was a bounty. There was a bounty on scalps of Native Americans. This was white Americans going out and scalping Native Americans.
That's how you could prove that you killed them. You can't just say that you killed them. You got to
get like $10 for every scalp. Just the stories are just so.
That's horrific. Why the name the Washington Redskins was a fucking bad name, dude.
Yep. Yes, it was.
The Cleveland Indians, which is still the Cleveland Indians.
Are they?
I think
Yeah.
they talk to their. I
Well,
think they talk
Scott,
to the
we-
native people. Sometimes it's like the chiefs, like they embrace it. Like the Kansas tribes, they embrace it. Like it's like their thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the Illini for U of I, like the Illinois. Like they have the college has a relationship with like the native population here. So
Yeah.
it's weird. Some people are like dicks about it, and then other people are like, you shouldn't do it either. And they're like, nah, actually, like the Braves are cool with it. Like it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
What can
What
you
were you
do?
gonna ask me, Mikey? Mike?
No, I was just going to say that you
Fuck the Red
already admitted that you were complicit in the playground to this problem, basically, playing cowboys and Indians.
Guilty.
As a child, like
I also thought I was gonna like.
1983.
I also thought I was gonna like go to college and then like I don't know, be a Power Ranger or something, but that didn't happen either.
That's such a shame, Mikey.
Such a
Did you-
millennial.
That would have been cool.
Did they have a degree in becoming a Power Ranger? Was that something you could study?
Maybe we
No, but
should
you
start.
can
I should
study
probably.
because how you study.
I should start a program. Like, okay, and then you're gonna like put your hands like this, and then a big dragon is gonna come down from the sky. You're gonna climb in there. And
When
save
I,
us.
There were college
No.
courses once about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if I'm not mistaken. The
Like
dissecting
film.
of the
No,
program.
that's true.
Study.
Can
Yeah,
I,
that's true.
Can I read?
Yeah.
Can I read?
It's a whole
the
genre
quote?
now.
Can I read the quote from Carl Sagan that I was talking about earlier? I'll read
Who's
it now.
that?
I mentioned it earlier. It's a book called The Demon Haunted World, and Carl Sagan was the guy who presented Cosmos back in the 1980s. He also wrote the movie Contact. But you know,
Bro, look at me. I know
Oh,
Carl
that,
Sagan
yeah.
is.
he was the Neil deGrasse Tyson of his day. I have a foreboding of an America in my children or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the key manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide, almost without noticing, back into superstition and darkness. 1995, he wrote that. Bang on. Mic drop.
Oh,
On that
Cheery.
note, guys, I gotta get up in the morning, so I'm gonna go fuck off.
Oh, okay. Well, we're only going to stay on for another 10 minutes because I'm, you know,
I'll stay on for 10 minutes.
I can't keep my mum up all night because she'll. Are you right there, mum? Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, gonna have a cup of tea in a bit.
I wondered if you were at your mom's house because the background is very mom.
It's very mum. It is.
The curio.
like I have my nice glasses in my cabinet with the pictures of my family.
Yeah, yeah. Well, normally I've got a green screen up here, so it looks like I'm in a warehouse or something. But I've been having
yeah.
such tech problems since I got to Liverpool. I was like, no, I'm not even gonna
I
go
was
there.
going to ask you, did you grow up in that house?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
As
that's
a
my
grandfather.
childhood home. So yeah, it's a lot of memories, a lot of great parties in this house. Bloody hell!
well, when your parents were away.
Mm-hmm.
I got a taxi back from town last year. I think it was coming back from the Labour conference, and the taxi driver's talking to me, and as we're going down the street, and this is a black cab, it's not an Uber, so he doesn't know my name, and he goes, "Are you Graham Hughes?" And I went, "Yeah," because he was dropping me off. He said, "I remember going to a party at your house when I was 16, like this is like 30 years ago," and I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah.
but initially you were thinking, yeah, the guy on YouTube that travelled around the world. that's got all
You
that-
got a copy of my book, mate.
Yeah, I'll sign it. I'll sign
I'll
it.
find
sign
the
the
book.
book.
Don't worry.
No,
don't
fuck
worry.
off, mate. I went to one of your mum's parties.
I'll do a
There's a marker
selfie for
on
you as
my
well.
face.
Yeah.
Unquiet
you have a
Badger wants to
marker
know if
with
there's a
you?
photo of little Graham behind me. Yes, there's a very very old photo here where I'm a little tiny baby. I don't know if you can see that too well, but I'm the baby.
Oh, it's a-
Oh, look at
It
that.
looks just like you.
those terribly 1980s posed photos.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Oh, that's the 1880s. Notice there's no
Done
color in
in
that
a-
photo, Mike.
Done in an
There's no colour in that
expensive
photo,
photo studio, and they would give you two small prints this big, And then they'd show you all the other beautiful photos they'd taken and say, well, you could buy this one for 20 and this one for, and like you'd end up walking out of the photo studio paying, like the trick of your parents, because I did this with my kids. I was right at the end of it before we all got smartphones. The trick was to stay there and not get sold any more photos. Just come out with the one that you'd paid 50 quid to have taken.
Lucas in the chat is saying, "Where's the hat?" Yeah, I wasn't born with it.
Good point.
He took it off for the picture.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to wrap up in a few minutes. But before we go, is there anything that we haven't covered this week that you wanted to mention?
I have to say, I'm personally surprised and happy that we talked about politics tonight. Because we haven't for about a month.
What, we just talk about random shit?
We've been talking about shit like Star Trek and fucking...
And how many planets you could fit between here and the moon.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are cool. Star Trek's cool. What's your problem?
I mean, they're cool, but that's not a politics social, is it?
Very true.
Super Tiny says, Happy Days are here again. Did you know that Mork and Mindy was a spin-off from Happy Days?
Yeah. There
Yeah.
was an episode where Mork appeared, yeah.
So was Joni Love's chat sheet, and there was an old story, and I don't know if it's true that in Korea or somewhere, Chachi meant cock.
Really?
You are? Chachi what?
It was like a slang
Joni
word.
loves cock.
It was like a slang word. I don't know if that's true. There you go. Scott Graham today was talking about 1990s topics. I don't think I should do that. I don't want to get, because you're talking about people who just get trapped in the past in their brain, like, and then they get this, like, they fall into this swamp of toxic nostalgia about the way it used to be when things were simple. Yeah, things were simple because you were a kid, Kevin.
You're a kid.
You didn't have any responsibilities. You just went out in the mud,
washing your clothes.
Yeah,
you had
to
a
wash your clothes.
hula
You didn't have to pay bills. You didn't have to sort your mortgage out. Fucking...
So of course, everything was great. You rode around on a big wheel.
Didn't care about inflation when you were having
You didn't give
naps,
shit about it.
No. Don't have to worry about climate change.
I went home when the lights on my street came on.
I think that there are a lot of people who understand that climate change is real. It's happening. It's really bad and we need to do something about it. But it just scares them too much and they'd rather just stick their fingers in their ears and go la, 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 la. So when someone like Trump comes along and says, oh, well, I don't even believe in it, that's why they sort of flock to him, even though in their hearts they know that it's real, which is a bit of a flip to me from religion, which I think a lot of people know in their heart it's not real. It's just fairy stories from the Bronze Age. Sorry to offend anyone who's watching this who deeply believes, but it is. But they like the idea. They like the camaraderie. They like the fact that the rights, the rights, RITES. They like the ceremony. They like going to church and doing and singing the hymns and doing the things that they.
All about belonging.
Sorry?
These are fringe people who have never truly belonged in their communities, with their friends, because of their weird views. These people now feel that they have a place they belong.
Yeah.
They are no longer the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it, isn't it? It's tapping into that sense of belonging, and it's something that the left don't do very well because we're always like at each other's throats over everything.
Yeah, over priests.
Yeah, because no one can be pure enough. But
Priests and pedophiles.
No one's pure enough.
Can be pure enough.
Someone pointed out because she was a female bishop, she wouldn't have been a Catholic. Because you can't be a priest.
That's probably true, actually. She wasn't
a priest if you're a woman.
I think they're the Anglicans, aren't they?
Do you know there's a chair that the Pope has to sit in, right? And it's got like a little hole in it, and he puts his balls in the hole, and someone has to come and put their head underneath the chair to make sure he's got balls.
Because was it Pope Joan?
Well, no, there's actually a bit in one of it's like Leviticus or something, one of the first books of the Bible, and it says something about anyone with festering testicles is not to rise to the church, the tabernacle. But is not allowed to attend the tabernacle.
No, but I thought there was a story that there was a woman that passed herself off as a man and became pope. and that's why the hole
I
was
think
there
that was
to,
a myth. I think
to
that's a
check.
bit like Robin Hood or something. Maybe.
Surely the
maybe.
hole in the throat is a myth as well.
No, they
Possibly.
still do that. They still check.
That's real, I
They
think.
check the balls of the Pope. It's like one of the.
But that's how they're gonna
checks?
check trans people on the door of the toilets from now on, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah,
So-
There's no such
J.K.
thing.
Rowling's got to be there.
How are they going to go after anybody because they say trans people don't exist? So I guess you'll have to leave them alone.
Male or female, you got to choose.
And you had Caitlyn Jenner going to the inauguration, and she in law now, thanks to Trump, she's not a woman anymore.
Yeah.
Is she going to say anything about it? Absolutely.
It's the classic. Just going back to what we were saying about earlier about did they expect the mass deportations to happen? Did they expect all the J6s to be released? And the answer is no, they didn't. They didn't expect the people they know to be deported. They didn't expect their Mexican gardener to be deported because he's a nice guy. So that can't be.
I didn't mean
be
you.
happening.
What what happens when
That's
I don't
a
know.
Brexit line, isn't it? I didn't mean you.
What happens when places are missing 5, 10, 15 employees across a city?
Yeah.
What does that economically do to a city when you just start pulling workers out of the city?
Yeah.
People that are actually providing something as opposed to just sitting on their asses and making up fucking pump and dump crypto schemes. You know what I mean? Like when people, like when you go after work, like the union should have been protecting these workers a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the union, I mean, I don't know what they're like I don't know what they're like in the States, but traditionally in the UK, the unions are pretty racist agendas as well, or certainly anti-immigrant.
The
agendas.
people who were supposed to help the problem
Yeah.
are gatekeeping their damn selves.
Well, famously, Jeremy Corbyn did an article, or he was reported an article in an interview he did for, I think it was The Independent, where he talked about immigrants coming and taking our jobs.
Stealing the jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, for God's sake, not you as well. But yeah.
And then you saw Vivek got properly dismissed for saying that.
So he's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's I'm
Who's
going to
this?
work on running for governor. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh,
Ramaswamy.
Vivek, yeah,
Gone.
he's gone from Doge.
Booted.
wasn't he?
That was it. That was never
Doge.
going to work, was it? That was
No,
literally
never. No.
That was
No.
Trump going, okay, I've got these two troublesome techie wankers. What am I going to do with them? Oh, I'll drop them in a bucket and see which one comes out alive, basically.
Vivek is a throne sniffer, and and Elon wishes he was cool.
Elon's a cat sniffer.
He just
That
really.
is a relationship I am waiting and it will happen, but patiently waiting for the fallout of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
And I want that to be spectacular.
It will be wonderful to watch because
Do
it
not
will
go
happen
quietly into the
and it
night.
will probably happen soon.
All right, here's a wager for the three of yous.
Okay.
What are the chances that if this fight does happen, Trump starts to lose the fight and puts Elon in jail?
I don't think he'll jail him. I think he'll just cut him loose.
I think he'll lock him up.
You reckon?
I think.
For what?
I don't
might
think he'll
try.
I don't think he'll have
He
him. I don't think he'll have him sniped, but I think it might lock him up.
I don't think he'll have him sniped. I think he'll just send him out of Mar-a-Lago. He'll go, it's time to go home. Goodbye. You're not you're not going to head toads. You're not going to do any of that. You got to go now. Goodbye.
He ain't leaving. He said this. He said I bought all this. I ain't going nowhere. You get
Yeah,
out.
now
He's got an office and a desk to sleep under in the White House now.
Yeah, I'm going to my room. You can't kick me out.
yeah.
So
he's got
he's got an
squatters'
office
rights.
in the White House.
He's
Elon
got a
Musk has got. What a,
Yeah.
He's got
what a time
squatters'
to be
rights
alive,
for the
eh?
White
What a
House.
time to be alive.
And a
Yeah, my
security
toothbrush
pass
is in here.
where he's been actually restricted, or he used to be restricted from certain NASA meetings because his security
So
clearance
wh-
wasn't high enough,
wh-
basically.
When I'm in
They don't
charge,
trust him. He's a drug addict.
all the nepo babies are going to be kicked out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see them as the DEI hires of the world.
Well, they are the DII guys.
Yeah,
of the
they
world.
are. Because those
Those are the real people that are taken on because of who they are.
Yes.
It's funny. It's
Not 'cause of
almost
what
like they
they can
didn't
do.
understand the difference between mediocrity and meritocracy. Like
Yes.
they're very close, but they think they're one, but they're actually the other. They don't have this this pedigree of competence that they think they have.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you won an election against 1,400. You know what I mean? You got 1,400 votes to get your like Oklahoma seat somewhere,
Yeah.
and then that suddenly makes you. I'm pretty
Oh,
much the next,
talking of which,
pretty much
I
the
did
next
see a
Reagan. You know,
I
like
saw a
these
very
little
interesting video on
britches.
TikTok.
Well,
I saw a very interesting video on. Go on.
no, go on. Tell us about the video because
Sorry,
I
I
need to
saw
wrap
this
up.
very interesting video on TikTok the other day. I think it was a guy in Indiana, a Republican, who I think he's like a mayor or a councilor or something, but he has hired all his family members to work for him. And there's been an
No problem
inquiry.
there.
Yeah, there's been an inquiry. Like he's having to answer questions about it. So it's like, so how much are they all on? Like, what are you paying your staff? He's like, my staff are very highly qualified and very competent for the job. And they're like, but that's not what I asked you. I asked you how much they're being paid and what are their relation to you.
Yeah.
Well, no, my staff are very highly qualified and very good at what they do. That you're refusing to answer any of my questions. Like the guy gave up on it. He said, I'm not asking any more questions. You're not answering.
Where was he
He
from?
blatantly hired every member of his family to work for him and is paying them thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, I something that we haven't mentioned is Trump is now threatening to end FEMA support. He doesn't want FEMA in California helping with the wildfire relief. And also, a lot of the people who were working, rebuilding, or going to be working, rebuilding the houses that have been destroyed were migrant labour. So, yeah, they're gone. So, yeah, the whole
And also
thing...
with FEMA, something like 70% of the FEMA funding goes to red states. It goes to Florida and
the Carolinas.
North Carolina, yeah.
Well, he went to North Carolina today.
Yeah, to tell them they're not going to get any more money now.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and they cheered. They cheered. Monorail, monorail, monorail.
That's what they
crazy.
do.
It's what they do. Just ask North Haverbrook. Right, listen, Mikey, Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show and having a bit of bants, having a bit of talk about what's going on. But you know, we're still here. That's the main thing. I'll be back probably tomorrow. Do a quick show. But otherwise, I'll be back on Sunday evening with something interesting, I'm sure. I haven't actually set up my schedule this weekend, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. So what you want to do, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. And then when I set up a stream, you'll get a little notification say Graham's going to be online at 8 o'clock or something. And you can either ignore that or you can join us. Just a big shout out to everyone who's watching, everyone who left a message, everyone who left a super chat. Thank you. And give us a like on the way out if you liked it. Give us a dislike if you disliked it. It's all engagement. It's all good. And until next time, I'll say thank you so much for watching. And I don't think the credit's going to work properly, but I'm going to give it a go. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. No, it didn't work. It just got a black fucking screen. Oh no, it's going. Oh, it's kind of like glitching. It's working now. It's working. Hey, there we go. Brilliant. By the way, our mics are still on, so they can still hear us.
Good.
Good.
Go subscribe to the Bin Podcast Network.
Bin Podcast. I think I'll put the link in the description. Bin Podcast. The link is in the description.
Do it.
And thanks to all our members. I'm going to add the new members to the list on Sunday.